Have you ever wondered why some people linger in your mind long after they're gone, while others quickly fade away? It's not about how much they said or did, but rather who they were. There's something deeply magnetic about a person who carries themselves with quiet strength, someone who doesn't chase attention, but naturally commands it. That's the essence of Stoicism. In this video, we'll explore 10 Stoic principles that can help you become unforgettable, not through manipulation or mind games, but through living in a way that others will deeply respect and remember. These principles won't just change how others see you, they'll transform how you see yourself. Stay with me till the end of this video because, by the time we're finished, you'll have learned how to live with such grace and strength that others will miss your presence like never before. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Be Stoic for more Stoic insights that will elevate every aspect of your life. Principle 1. Cultivate inner strength. The first Stoic principle that will make others miss you is to cultivate inner strength. For the Stoics, real power comes not from external circumstances, but from within. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, knew better than anyone that it wasn't his title or his army that made him truly powerful. It was his mastery over his mind. He once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does inner strength look like in everyday life? It's the ability to remain calm under pressure, to stay centered when things go wrong, and to be resilient in the face of adversity. Imagine this. You're in a heated argument, and while others are losing their cool, you remain composed. You listen, but you don't react impulsively. Instead, you take a breath, choose your words carefully, and maintain your peace. That kind of presence is rare, and it's deeply attractive. People will not only admire you for it, they'll miss it when it's gone. In relationships, inner strength means that you don't rely on others for your sense of worth. You're complete on your own. When people realize that you're not dependent on their approval or affection, they'll respect you even more. They'll come to value your presence as something solid and irreplaceable. Actionable step. Begin cultivating inner strength by practicing daily reflection or meditation. Spend time each morning asking yourself, what truly matters today? By grounding yourself in what's important, you'll begin to navigate life with more resilience. Over time, people will feel that strength in your presence, and they'll miss it when you're not around. Principle 2. Indifference to praise and criticism. The second Stoic principle is indifference to both praise and criticism. Most people are swayed by what others think of them. They glow under praise and wither under criticism. But the Stoics taught that external validation is fleeting, and it's not something we should rely on. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." When you are indifferent to praise and criticism, you become unshakable. Imagine this. You're in a meeting and someone compliments your work. You acknowledge the compliment but don't let it puff up your ego. Later, someone criticizes a decision you made. You listen, consider the feedback, but don't take it personally. You remain centered because you know that your self-worth doesn't depend on others' opinions. This kind of emotional independence is rare. When people notice that you're not chasing approval or fearing disapproval, they'll respect you more. In fact, when you're absent, they'll miss the steadiness and confidence that comes from someone who isn't swayed by the opinions of others. Think of someone you know who doesn't get flustered by either praise or criticism. How does that person make you feel? Their indifference to external validation likely makes them seem more grounded and self-assured, doesn't it? Now imagine becoming that person, someone whose sense of self isn't tied to what others think. That's a person people miss. The next time you receive a compliment or face criticism, take a mental step back. Remind yourself that these are fleeting moments and that neither defines who you are. By practicing this indifference, you'll build emotional resilience and command more respect from others. Principle 3. Be present but detached. The third principle is to be fully present in every interaction, but emotionally detached from the outcome. The Stoics taught that we should engage fully in life's moments, but remain detached from how they turn out. This is a delicate balance, but it's incredibly powerful. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." What does this look like in practice? It means that when you're with someone, whether it's a friend, a partner, or a colleague, you give them your full attention. You listen deeply, you engage sincerely, and you make the moment count. But when the moment passes, you let it go. You don't cling to it and you don't obsess over how it will affect the future. This combination of presence and detachment creates a sense of mystery and calm that others will notice. When you're no longer around, they'll miss the way you made them feel truly seen, yet without attachment. Consider this. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who was fully present with you, not distracted by their phone or their thoughts? It's rare, isn't it? Now imagine being that person for others. The way you engage will make them feel valued, and when you're not there, they'll miss that deep level of connection. Practice being fully present in every interaction. The next time you're talking with someone, put away distractions and focus entirely on the conversation. Afterward, practice letting go of any emotional attachment to the outcome. This habit will not only make your interactions more meaningful, but will also leave a lasting impression on others. Principle 4. Practice self-control. Self-control is perhaps one of the most admired Stoic virtues. It's the ability to master your emotions, desires, and impulses. In a world where people are constantly reacting to external circumstances, those who can remain composed stand out. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, taught that we should focus only on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our responses to life's challenges. Imagine this. You're in a tense situation, perhaps an argument or a moment of stress. While everyone around you is losing their composure, you remain calm. You take a deep breath, consider your options, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This kind of self-control is rare, and it's something people will respect and miss in your absence. Self-control isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about understanding them and choosing how to respond. When you master this skill, people will come to see you as a source of stability, and when you're not around, they'll miss the calm and thoughtful way you handle life's challenges. There's a story about Cato the Younger, a Stoic philosopher and politician who remained calm and composed even in the most trying circumstances. He would deliberately provoke people to see how they reacted, but he would never lose his own temper. This kind of emotional resilience made him unforgettable, even to his enemies. Practice self-control by pausing before you react to any emotional trigger. Whether it's anger, frustration, or desire, give yourself a moment to breathe and reflect before you act. Over time, this will not only strengthen your emotional resilience, but also create an aura of calm and strength that others will miss. Principle 5. Act with integrity. Integrity is one of the highest Stoic virtues, and it's essential for building trust and respect. The Stoics believed that we should always act in alignment with our values, no matter the circumstances. Marcus Aurelius urged us to waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. What does it mean to act with integrity? It means that your actions consistently reflect your principles, even when it's difficult. You don't cut corners, you don't lie to make things easier, and you don't compromise your values for short-term gains. This kind of consistency is rare, and people will come to trust and rely on you because they know where you stand. When you're not around, they'll miss the certainty and honesty that you bring. In relationships, integrity builds a foundation of trust. People know that you'll do the right thing, even when it's hard. They may not always agree with your choices, but they'll respect you for standing by your principles. And when you're no longer part of their life, they'll miss the moral clarity and reliability that you offered. Identify your core values and make a commitment to act in alignment with them every day. Whether it's in small decisions or big ones, let your integrity guide you. Over time, people will come to see you as someone they can trust, and they'll miss that certainty when you're not there. Principle 6. Be generous in spirit. Generosity is not just about giving material things, it's about offering your time, your attention, and your kindness without expecting anything in return. The Stoics believed that we are all interconnected, and that part of living a good life is contributing to the common good. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Being generous in spirit means that you are willing to help others, not because you expect something in return, but because it's the right thing to do. When you offer your wisdom, your time, or your support freely, you create deep connections with others. These acts of kindness and generosity linger in people's minds long after you're gone. When you're not around, they'll miss the way you made them feel valued and cared for. Generosity in relationships isn't about grand gestures. It's about small, meaningful actions. It's listening when someone needs to talk, offering advice when asked, or simply being there when someone needs support. These moments of generosity create bonds that people will remember and long for when you're no longer part of their life. Look for opportunities to be generous in spirit every day, whether it's offering a kind word, giving someone your undivided attention, or helping someone without expecting anything in return. These small acts of generosity will create lasting connections that people will miss. Principle 7. Maintain your independence. The Stoics taught that we should never rely on others for our happiness or sense of purpose. True independence comes from within, and when you are whole on your own, others will respect and admire you for it. Epictetus warned that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you maintain your independence, you send a powerful message. You don't need others to complete you. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or refusing help. It means that your sense of self-worth and happiness aren't dependent on external circumstances or relationships. Ironically, when you live with this level of independence, others will be drawn to you even more. They'll value your presence because it's a choice, not a necessity. And when you're not around, they'll miss the strength and self-sufficiency you bring to the table. Think of someone you know who is comfortable in their own skin, who doesn't rely on others to feel fulfilled. This person likely exudes confidence and calm, and their independence makes them even more attractive. Now, imagine becoming that person, someone who is whole and complete, whether or not others are in your life. Practice cultivating your independence by spending time alone and engaging in activities that fulfill you without relying on others. The more comfortable you become in your own company, the more people will respect and admire your self-sufficiency. Principle 8. Accept the transience of life. One of the most profound Stoic teachings is the acceptance of life's impermanence. The Stoics understood that nothing lasts forever: relationships, material possessions, even our own lives. By accepting the transient nature of life, we free ourselves from the anxiety of clinging to things that are ultimately out of our control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." When you accept that everything is temporary, you begin to live more fully in the present. You stop worrying about what might happen in the future or regretting what's already gone. This attitude of calm acceptance creates a sense of peace that others will notice. When you're no longer around, people will miss the way you approached life with such grace and wisdom, making the most of every moment without clinging to it. There's a beautiful story about Epictetus, who, when his leg was broken by his master, remained calm and said, "I told you so." He accepted the injury as something outside of his control and did not let it disrupt his inner peace. This kind of acceptance may seem extreme, but it's the Stoic way of acknowledging that life is unpredictable and that we must make peace with that reality. Reflect on the transient nature of life by practicing gratitude for each moment as it comes. Recognize that nothing is permanent and embrace the present without clinging to it. This mindset will not only bring you inner peace, but also leave a lasting impression on those around you. Stoic Principle 9. Silence speaks volumes. The Stoics understood that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is remain silent. In a world filled with constant noise and chatter, those who choose their words carefully and embrace moments of silence stand out. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, believed that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. When you practice intentional silence, your words carry more weight. People listen more intently when you speak because they know you don't waste your words, and when you choose to remain silent, your presence is still felt. Silence, in the right moments, can create an air of mystery, wisdom, and strength. When you're no longer around, people will miss your thoughtful contributions and the calm that your silence brought to conversations. Think of a person you know who doesn't always jump into conversations, but when they do speak, their words are impactful. That's the kind of presence that silence can create. Now, imagine cultivating that ability for yourself. When you master the art of silence, people will come to appreciate your thoughtful insights and miss the wisdom you bring to the table. Practice intentional silence in your daily interactions. Listen more than you speak, and when you do contribute, make your words count. Over time, this habit will make you more respected and valued in conversations, and people will miss your thoughtful presence when you're gone. Principle 10. Lead by example. Finally, the most powerful way to make others miss you is to lead by example. The Stoics believed that actions speak louder than words, and they lived their lives as examples of their philosophy. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, "Do not act as if you have 10,000 years to live. Your time is now." Leading by example means embodying the virtues you believe in: courage, wisdom, temperance, and justice, every single day. When you live with purpose and integrity, people notice. They may not always say it, but they admire the way you handle yourself and the choices you make. And when you're no longer part of their life, they'll miss the example you set. You become a silent guide, someone whose actions left a lasting impression even after you've moved on. In relationships, leading by example means that you don't just talk about your values, you live them. You show others what it means to be disciplined, compassionate, and wise through your actions, not your words. Over time, people will come to respect you for your consistency, and they'll miss the way your presence inspired them to be better. Reflect on the virtues you want to embody and commit to living them out every day. Whether it's in small actions or major decisions, let your life be a reflection of the Stoic principles you believe in. By leading through example, you'll leave a lasting legacy that others will remember and miss. These 10 Stoic principles are not about manipulating others into missing you. Instead, they teach you how to live in such a way that your presence becomes memorable and impactful. When you embody strength, wisdom, and virtue, people will naturally gravitate toward you, and they will feel your absence deeply when you're not around. If you found value in this video, I encourage you to subscribe to Be Stoic. Here, we explore more ways to live a life of purpose, discipline, and peace through Stoicism. And don't forget to check out the other videos where we dive even deeper into Stoic philosophy and how it can transform your relationships and your life. Remember, true strength lies within you.